Hey everybody, hey, Lee with Junk Removal Authority. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about what makes a great junk removal website. This is a new site that we just completed for our friends and longtime clients, Rich and Nick from Junk Police up in New Jersey, Philly area as well, kind of right there on the border. They had an existing site. We migrated this one over. One of the key things when you migrate a site over is you need to understand what pages already get traffic and what pages already rank, and you need to make sure those pages and those URLs are carried over into the new existing site. And any other pages, you might do 301 redirects to something that's relevant or whatever. You don't necessarily have to carry all of your pages over, but your web team needs to be very, very careful that they make sure that when you do a site migration, you go through your site indexes on both pages and you make sure everything lines up, and those that don't, if it's getting traffic or whatever, have a 301 redirect. So anyway, launched a new page. This is on one of the new JRA themes. What makes a great junk removal website? Hey, number one, it needs to speak to your target audience. So if you want to compete with 1-800-GOT-JUNK, College Hunks, Junk King, Junk Luggers, you want to be super professional. And this starts oftentimes with your website, because most interested buyers are going to be going to Google and they're going to be searching for junk removal, and they're going to come across your site, and you're going to be compared to those companies. So you've got Junk Police here. This is the Got Junk site that you're going to be going up against here. This is the Junk King site you're going to be going up against here. And then you've got the College Hunk site that you're going to be going up against as well. All these sites are professional. All of them rank well organically. All of them have solid calls to action. All of them have elements that keep people on the web page answering their questions. So they're really great sites. If you want to not have to be one of the companies that really kind of compete on price, where you're like, hey, I'm cheaper than Got Junk, I'm cheaper than College Hunks, then you don't want a site that looks cheaper, because that's what people are going to expect. So if I had a low-cost option, I would not want a premier website. If I had a low-cost service and I was just trying to beat people on price, I would want a site that looked more simple and inexpensive, because when people go to this website, they're going to think this is a bit more of an expensive service. That's by design. What you want is you want people that value service over price. That's what you're going to find when you have a really nice website. So we want to make sure that the brand elements, that the pictures that are featured, that the colors make great sense, that it just feels like a premium website for a premium service, because that's what people are going to associate a premium website with. If you have a great website, you should have a great service, and they're also going to understand this probably is going to cost a little bit of money. You want to educate them. That'll help out with your job cancellations. So it looks very professional and trustworthy, and again, it's going to speak to your target audience. The next thing, oftentimes when you're looking at web design, and most website companies, or a lot of web design companies, I would say over 50%, they're designing this web page on a desktop, which we design it on a desktop too, but I tell everybody, hey, mobile first. 80% of your traffic is going to be mobile, so you have to make sure that everything makes sense from a mobile perspective. So this is more or less what your page is going to look like mobile. If you look at it on an iPhone or whatever like that, this is pretty close to what your page is going to look like. So as you can see, if we go through it, it still has a very, very, very good look. This still looks super professional. So it's going to have the feel to attract the right client. The next thing is we need really, really good, clear call to action. So you have the phone number up here. You've got the other things, you have service hours up here. A lot of customers, when they call, they think most companies are only open like 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever. So in this case, Rick and Nick and Rich answer phone calls in between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. So the hours are actually listed here. That right there will tell people, hey, I can call them on these after-hour time frames. As you scroll down, one thing that we do, let's see here. Give me a second. And now let's see if my screen record controls are no longer showing. They are. This is because of the screen record that I'm doing. What you'll actually is going on is, all right, you see you've got a sticky header. So the header's hanging around up here. And as you scroll down, you've got the phone number here, and then they can enter in a zip code to go ahead and start an online booking. Our junk removal themes for businesses that are established, so they've been open for a few years, actually wind up getting between 40 to 50% of all bookings online. So that means you're actually not having to answer the phone. And the crazy thing is, or the great thing is they actually do not cancel at any higher of a rate than phone calls if you handle it right. So once you get the online booking, you should follow up with a phone call pretty quickly just to verify all the details and make sure they don't have any questions. If you do that, the online bookings don't have any higher of a cancellation rate, and your phone calls are a lot shorter. All right, once you pass the online booking thing here, once you get to the kind of the top, down here, can I move this? I can't. That's frustrating. Down here are 2 calls to action. One says online booking and one is the phone number. And we keep those on the bottom because people are scrolling up and that's where their thumb is, and it's really easy to hit that. So at no point on the mobile design are you not where you can't see an online booking or see a phone call conversion, which both of them are very important to us. We want to give the customer an overview of the items that we can actually remove. So we do that here. These are all categories you can open, expand, and minimize. We want to make sure we give an idea of the service area. So we do that here with a map clearly showing radiuses around their main target points. They have a pretty big service area. We mentioned a few of the main cities that you might target here as well. And then if you click this and more button, you'll be brought to a full service area page that really showcases it. So you're answering people's questions. Hey, do they take the items I have? And even if your item isn't listed, by showing all these different items, you pretty much tell people you take about everything. And here we give a really good idea of a service area. And I tell people, hey, go wide on your service area in your website. You can always tell people, for your job, the minimum's higher on that outer area or whatever, but you might encounter a really big job that you want to do. You don't want to eliminate it by having a too small or too narrow of a service area. Now, that does not mean you're going to run Google ads to this entire service area or anything, because that'd be a lot of money. You might want to concentrate that on a smaller area unless you have a really, really large budget. That's a video for another time, though. All right, so we got service area, we got items. We want to showcase to people that we are legitimate and that we have a great reputation. So we stick in here a Google review widget right up top. It shows a 5.0 rating, 338 reviews. And when you slide down, we've got more testimonials here with a Google logo that validates it, where people can kind of scroll through and read different reviews. I mentioned online booking. So a lot of people search for junk removal when they're working. They can't necessarily get on a phone call, or they might do it at night when their spouse is asleep or a kid's asleep or whatever. You got to give them a way to book you when they can't actually get on the phone. So it's very, very important. This ties in with Workiz, the CRM we recommend, Workiz. So they enter this in, it syncs to their availability. Once they book it, it pops up on their Workiz. And with our top 2 packages at JRA, newly released packages that we just started offering, Workiz is actually going to be included, at least for a period of time. You're going to get a credit for Workiz through one of our websites. Just a little bit of a extra there, tidbit there. But Workiz is a great system. You'll want to sync it with your website. You want to make sure you've got good SEO elements. So this is going to be a common search term here. Matter of fact, I mentioned our SEO team, I think, is going through our site. We're actually going to change this. It's not going to be junk removal in New Jersey when you first land on this page. It's probably going to be whatever area, the main area that they want to target is what we'll put in here. However, this is the home page. So one of the things we're going to talk about is site architecture. Generally, the homepage, we really need to drive home the brand on the homepage. If somebody searches Junk Police, we want to make sure Junk Police actually shows. And then your location pages, you're going to have multiple location pages. If you pop in here, I'll tell you what, let's jump back into the desktop version of this, and we can just pick one here. So as you can see, this is optimized for SEO, junk removal in Burlington, New Jersey. This is going to be a common search term with common traffic. You've got a good description that mentions the city name, it mentions junk removal, and it's got something that kind of hooks people in the page description. And you've got an H1 of junk removal in Burlington, New Jersey, which is a very common search term. So those SEO, basic SEO elements need to be right. And then you need to come in, and you're going to come in with some content that is going to have other main keywords mentioned in it. One of the things that we want to make sure that we do, let's go back to the home page, is we want to get a lot of content on these pages. And it just depends as to what page you want to do. You know, if it's some pages might be 750 words, some might be 2,000, just depending on what your competition in your area is doing. That's one of the first things is look at what your competition's doing, because you want to be in line with them, maybe just a little more keyword dense and maybe just a little more content. But you don't have to be way, way above. Everything in SEO is comparative, so you want to be comparable to your top competitors that you want to outrank. However, if you get a bunch of content on a page, and this is something you see very common on other junk removal websites, is you have this huge wall of text. Well, that's a bad user experience. Google recognizes that, and will not rank you as well if you have a poor user experience. But you need that content. You need those keywords to be able to rank. So what you do, and this is something that some of the new JRA themes do such a good job with, is you pop in here, all of this text counts, but if you look, it's done in a pretty small section, and they scroll back and forth. If we pop over here to mobile, you can see how we accomplish this in the mobile version as well. Give it a second to load. Here you are. They can thumb back and forth, so they can go back and forth like this in addition to clicking these arrows. And actually on the actual mobile version, I'm not positive these arrows are here. I think it's just done where you swipe left or right. This gives you all the content without you facing this huge wall of text. Same thing with the items we take, where you can expand and minimize. Same sort of thing. When Google reads this, Google is reading all of these keywords, but your customer is actually only seeing whatever they want to see when they expand. We pop down here. We go into FAQs, same thing. FAQs, you expand and minimize, same sort of deal. So this is a very powerful way of getting your own page SEO content right without sacrificing user experience and conversions, because obviously we want a website that's really built to convert. And the next thing is you really need to get people to your page. So getting people to your website is critical. If you have an amazing site, but you're not running Google Ads traffic or a social media strategy or boots on the ground networking strategy or whatever, there's no reason to have a really great website. So you have to be able to drive traffic to it. Google Maps, SEO is fantastic. The first thing we always want to focus on Google Maps or Google on SEO is your Google Map listing, because that's what you can have the greatest impact on. And that'll be another video that we'll have to put out. But you want a great SEO strategy, because an SEO is going to be your greatest investment long term. Once you can rank well for a Google Business Profile and you rank well in a 10, 15 mile radius, that's golden. And then once your site starts ranking well organically, top 3 or so, top 2, top 3 for hoarding, clean out, shed demolition, hot tub removal, and eventually junk removal, if you get to that point, you're raking in some money without having to spend a ton of money on paid ads. But paid ads is important. It's a great strategy if you utilize that to drive to your website. We cover elements of conversion. We cover elements of giving people the information they need without giving them this huge wall of text. We talk about online booking, making it easy to book, calls to action, crisp pictures, great photos are so important. That speaks to your brand. It speaks to your professionalism. If you do all those things, you're going to attract the people that can afford to spend more. That way you can have that $400, $500, $600, $700 per job average that you need to have nowadays to be able to have a profitable junk removal business. So hey, check this out. If it was helpful to you, give us a thumbs up. If we can help you with your website, just let us know. Appreciate you watching.